Some months ago, I was in the shopping centre and I was doing some shopping, and I noticed an older lady who was walking her dog on a flat collar and a short leash, and she was walking ahead of her dog, not paying attention. She was pulling on the leash, and of course it was jerking the dog's neck. This poor little dog was suffering, was not enjoying that situation at all, and it actually looked like it was a bit painful for that poor little dog, especially around the soft tissue of the neck there. So I thought, what a nice idea. It would be good for this poor dog if I just let this human know in as nice as possible a way as I could that her little doggy was being dragged by the neck, by the collar, and her neck was being affected. And of course, it doesn't matter how nice the delivery would have been, how wise the delivery would have been of this piece of information to this human, it's very likely that this human being was going to be in her human condition mindset, which is one coming from a lower level of consciousness, which is in the consciousness level of somebody who's living in a fear-based situation, who's protecting her ego, who's projecting her ego onto a situation. And that's exactly what happened. So for me to say, excuse me, but your little doggy's being dragged along there by the leash, and I think it's really uncomfortable for your dog, or your dog can't keep up with you. She looked up at me and raised her voice and said, "It's my business." Now, of course, that caught the attention of a couple of other people that were shopping as well. But the thing is, the irony of this situation is that this woman is protecting her ego because she doesn't want to be told that she's wrong. But the thing is, the irony is that I felt like I had to placate this human being's feelings and not hurt her feelings, but still try to convey to this human being that she was hurting her dog, that she was causing her dog to suffer. So the irony of this whole situation, it's extremely interesting to say the least. Anyway, now, I then felt like I had to placate her, and so of course I didn't want her to become upset, and I then said to her, I then added, you have a lovely little dog, and it looks like your dog isn't just able to keep up with you. Maybe could you slow down a little bit so your dog can keep up with you? And then I could see a shift in her mindset where she realised, okay, I'm now starting to get an idea of what the situation is, the true situation, not what she's fantasizing about in her head. Somebody's just told me that I'm wrong. Somebody that has just threatened my ego. And so I could see that little shift. But it was interesting because did it change what she was doing and how she then perceived the living, breathing, sentient animal that was on the other end of this flat collar and leash? No, it didn't. And as I saw her wandering off with her dog further down the other aisles, I did note that the level of interest that she had in her dog was just, was still the same. So what I'm trying to convey here is some concepts that I talk about quite often. The concepts of being an owner versus being a dog guardian. So somebody who, for a start, a dog guardian wouldn't put their dog in that situation for a start, taking their dog to a supermarket. Because that also suggests that in some way that dog might have been used as therapy for that human being. Well, how much therapy is a dog able to give a human when the human isn't even paying attention or even vaguely aware that they have a sentient animal at the end of a leash and a flat collar? So this is another ironic point. So firstly, a dog guardian wouldn't put their dog in that situation. A dog guardian would actually leave their dog at home with some food puzzle toys to keep them occupied in a productive way mentally for their dog, and then go and do what they've got to do. But of course, I have suspicions that this dog was probably used as a therapy dog. Anyway, having said that, a guardian wouldn't put their dog in that position. A dog guardian certainly wouldn't respond or react or overreact like that, especially if it comes to their dog's psychological health and psychological well-being, as well as their physical health and well-being. And so this is also ironic. People say, oh, I love my dog, blah, 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 blah. But when you actually point out that your dog, it may actually be suffering in a situation, and you may be inadvertently causing suffering to your dog, well, there's more focus on the human being and what they're feeling than what is actually happening in that situation. So, I'm hoping that what you can see I'm hoping that you're going to be able to just understand that when somebody talks to you and mentions, oh, your dog may be in a situation where they're feeling uncomfortable or hurt or suffering or being jerked on a leash or whatever that may be, that you don't try to protect your ego, you don't try to project your ego, but you actually do listen to the message that's being delivered to you. And it's not to hurt your feelings, it's to actually help you to reconnect you with your dog. Because most of the time when people are walking their dog, they're drinking coffee, they're talking to somebody else, the dog may actually have stopped and wanted to have a sniff, but no, the human is continuing to walk and the human continues to pull on that leash. So when we think about the reconnection of that human with their dog, it's just not there. And so this little video, this little personal anecdote, is just to highlight it's not about you. It's not about you. It's actually about your dog's health and well-being. And so whether you're going to take that personally is probably a high probability that is going to happen, because there's not a lot of dog guardians out there, but there's a hell of a lot of dog owners out there, and you actually may be one of them that's watching this video. I think that's about all I need to say on that subject. We'll talk again soon.